Hello everyone, so it looks like Girls Frontline 2, the Twitter page, finally revealed our next banner character, and I think it's one of the finest characters in the entire game. She looks incredibly beautiful, and of course I'm talking about DAIYAN over here. DAIYAN, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, it's probably DAIYAN, because you know, it's a Chinese game, but nonetheless, I would like to very quickly talk about her, letting you guys know what she can basically do, talking about if she is actually worth pulling or not, or if you should just save or skip her and save for someone else, of course. We'll also check the tier list in the CN part of the game to see how well she compares with other characters, and I'll also give you a basic overview of her skill set. Her skills, of course, haven't been revealed just yet, but since the game is in Chinese already, there is this spreadsheet where they show everything she can do, and as such, let's very quickly read through it. I've already seen everything she can actually do. I'm not going to go super into detail with her skills, I'll leave that for a future video, maybe on a guide I'll probably do in the future. But in any case, her basic attack is the usual. It's the normal single target attack with 80% damage, nothing too surprising, and it's the same as anyone else's. Now, for her first skill, it's a single target nuke that also dispels one buff from the enemy. It's a very simple skill. She is overall quite a simple character. Her second skill gives her 3 stacks of this buff called calibration. Calibration basically gives her, or each stack of calibration, gives her crit rate and crit damage by 3%, and it can stack up to 10 times, so a total of 30% crit rate and crit damage, and she also receives tuning, which will increase her stability damage for her next attack. And on top of all that, she will also get an extra turn. This extra turn, however, is not like Tololo, where she actually gets an extra turn. This extra command is basically like Lotta's extra command, where she can attack again, but she can't actually move. And as for her ult, she consumes all her calibration stacks and gets 1 stack of permanent calibration. This permanent calibration is the same thing as the calibration or normal calibration, so she still gets the critical rate and critical damage. However, this one cannot be consumed and is permanent on her, but gets all the other effects as the normal calibration. However, this permanent calibration can only stack up to 3 times. And with her passive, she gets one, well, not contamination, it's confectance index, because, well, contamination is the Chinese translation, but she gets 1 point of confectance and 1 point of calibration at the beginning of the turn, and she also gets another point of contamination if she attacks someone undercover. So she actually can generate quite a bit of confectance index every single turn, and that's very good because her skill 1 actually only costs 1 confectance index, so she will be able to spam this skill a buttload of times. And if she gets 2 calibration stacks, she can actually attack an enemy that's attacking her before that enemy attacks her. It's a little bit confusing, but she basically attacks someone else before they attack her. But this can only happen once per turn, of course. It is a very strong attack actually, so it's not surprising that she can only do this once. To put it very simply, DAIYAN's game plan is to spam her first skill until she gets enough confectance index to actually use her second skill, and once she gets her second skill, and if her ultimate is off cooldown, she'll use her ult, and the ult's cooldown will actually be decreased according to the amount of calibration stacks you have. She'll deal a lot of damage, and you'll get a stack of permanent calibration. Yeah, and rinse and repeat, really. So as you can see, DAIYAN is another damage dealer we have in the game. However, she is a little bit worse than the ones we already have. This is basically because the way she gets her permanent calibration stacks is quite slow. It's always with her burst, or with her ultimate, I mean, so it can take a while. And other characters like Macchiato or QJ or Tolo are already pretty damn strong, so we don't really have the need to get another DPS character who's somewhat as strong as the other characters but also slower than the other ones. So if you do already have either QJ, Macchiato especially because she is so busted, or Tololo, you definitely do not need DAIYAN over here. In any case, as you can see over here on the tier list on the CN side, DAIYAN is over here on A tier, and Tolo, honestly, Tolo is only at S tier because she got buffed very recently, or else she would be at A tier also. But nonetheless, if you already have these 3 characters, you definitely do not need DAIYAN. DAIYAN doesn't really bring anything too special into the table besides her cleanse mechanic on her first skill, so there's really no need to actually go for her. I really do recommend saving your cubes until someone else better actually shows up. However, they have not actually revealed the second character that will be coming out together with DAIYAN, because as you guys have noticed, they have been doing double banners on every single patch, so most likely they will also do another double banner on the next patch. So we will have to wait until they actually do that, and only then we will actually be able to see if we can finally have a break from pulling all the amazing characters that have been released so far. In any case, guys, that's been it for me. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And as usual, thank you so much for the memberships. And moral of the story, you guys,